So it's 7 o'clock, 7:03 on February 10th, 2026 for our monthly meeting of the Norwood Trails Advisory Committee. We are here at the lovely Memorial Hall. Mary said she'd lead us in a hymnal afterwards, and I hope she's not fibbing. Okay, I got Joe, I got Jerry, this is great. So first thing we got to do is just call for attendance and start the meeting. Heather, you want to start us? We'll just do it by roll call.
Heather Rundell.
Beth Young.
Brian Pontier.
Jean Pontier.
Joe Barrett. Dick Babel. Yes.
Mary Beth.
Michelle St. Pierre.
Seth Miller.
Dan Davos, visitor, I guess.
And I'm Chris Paddock, and online we have Joe Greeley. If you could just say your name if you're able to. I know you're driving a plow right now.
Joe Greeley.
Hey, and Jerry, same thing, please.
Jerry Upcroft.
Thank you. All right, that's everybody. We have minutes. We had minutes last month, but I did not think to get them ready for us to approve them. So we'll do that next month, and we're taking minutes again, which is a step in the right direction. This is great. We do have a couple of visitors, people who aren't always with us this week. I think for the sake of I don't think we all need to introduce ourselves, but if our visitors wouldn't mind, if you could just tell us again your name and sort of what brings you here tonight.
Seth Miller. I used to be on the Concom a long time ago with Lee Beach, and I was just trying new trails, walking with my dogs, and got talked into helping with some stuff. Lent my truck a couple of times, so I was able to come tonight. Came from most nights, so just figured I'd stop by.
That's great. Thank you for coming, and thank you for any help you're able to offer, especially if it involves a motor vehicle.
Plus, Seth is an avid canoeist and competitive.
Yeah, I love to do stuff.
Wow.
Oh, very
Tell
cool.
them about the long races that in the West is it 100 miles?
It's 120 miles.
Is that an Ironman or is that like an ultra marathon? What?
It's like 17 hours.
17 hours?
It's out in Michigan.
We need to talk afterwards.
So I'm a real outdoors guy. Man.
Yeah,
Dogs
yeah.
all the time. I love
Chris.
the trails. They're pretty awesome. I paddle on them.
Give me just a second, please, Jerry.
But yeah, it's my thing.
Yes, Jerry, go ahead.
Chris, the only person I can hear is you. Is there
Oh,
a microphone there that might need to be turned on?
I'm pretty quiet too. So
Oh, the mic on the,
yeah, I mean, I got a green light. That didn't do anything. The owl's on. I don't know, Jerry.
can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Well, maybe folks can talk up a little, speak up a little.
I might could move this microphone maybe closer to the middle of the room. Let's see what I can do there.
Does that help?
Can you hear us,
A
Jerry?
little bit.
Little bit?
Okay.
Good.
I figure with all this natural reverb, you'd be able to hear us really well.
I think it absorbs some of it.
Yeah. Okay, and then Dan, if you would please.
Yeah, so I'm Dan Davos. I'm a member of the Nepontet Valley Sunrise Rotary Club. Joe and Joan and Chris were in talking to us in the middle of December about what you all do, and we've been looking for service projects. We always look for service projects, and we think there's some good synergy between the Rotary Club and you all, and we're interested in having some discussions about how we might be able to help you all with some things, depending on what they are, and establish some kind of relationship moving forward. That would be our goal, to help each other out. So that's for the Rotary Club on a personal level. I spend a lot of time outside myself, do a lot of dog walking. I see somebody at Adams Farm all the time, actually here. So, and I would like to get involved. Joe said I'd like to get involved a little bit more in the trails committee myself. So.
And you've always volunteered on so many different things over the years.
I tried. Yeah.
It's the Norwood way. Volunteer for as many things as you can. All right, great. Thank you all. Is our other visitor guys are probably going to want to introduce yourself, doesn't he? No. She doesn't. Okay. Excellent. All right, so jumping in here. Oh, well, so visitors. We have some visitors tonight. That's great. Anybody had any thoughts recently about people we ought to try to bring in? It's okay if you haven't. You don't have to think of it right now. Just
We need to update the distribution list that you inherited. from Joe.
that is true.
Like Lewis Bradley would have come, I think, but
Okay.
he didn't find out about it till I remembered to ping him around 5 o'clock tonight, but
Yeah.
I've got a list of names. I updated the volunteer list.
Okay.
And so anyone who wasn't on the distribution list sheet, sent out this morning.
I
sent
saw
an
that,
email
Joe.
to them.
Thank you for doing that.
Except for Lewis, because I overlooked that.
Okay.
And I got a new one too, new
Okay.
friend of Lee's.
This is kind of what we just have to like help each other fill out the blanks for the next couple months. You know, I really appreciate it.
I'll give you a full consolidated list of the gaps I know about.
Excellent, thank you. Excellent. All right, we got upcoming and ongoing events. Nothing super set in stone right now. Lee and I have been talking to the library about the next annual report. Joe, are you on that thread too, in the email thread?
Yes.
Yeah, and I know Jerry's on there too. One of the dates they threw out as available is Earth Day proper, which I feel like would be pretty fitting and kind of maybe a nice celebration. Other than that, it falls during school vacation and it's Earth Day. Does anybody have any strong thoughts about people definitely wouldn't come? I can't think of anything that would prevent us from doing it, and more should just lean into that it's a nice idea to just happen to do it on Earth Day proper.
So this will be a Wednesday night event at the library?
Yeah, just like last year. I know Jerry is interested in presenting about the bridge construction, speaking to the engineering aspect of things that are going on, and really trying to let the public who can't come out and help us work on it, let them in on the process, which I think most people would find pretty interesting. And I'm sure they'd enjoy the stories of construction days and things like that. I would like to talk about goals for the next year, maybe then the next 5 to 10. I know Joe really usually likes to end with that. I think we should keep that going just to show everybody, we're not just in this for the short haul, we're in it for the long haul. I did want to open the floor about any ideas about what else we should talk about. We probably have time for 1 or 2 more short little segments. Yeah, Jerry, go ahead.
So I'm thinking that if you really want to do that normal annual report, it tends to take quite a long time to do that. It may be useful at that point then to spend maybe only the last 5 or 10 minutes with some pictures of the accomplishments and then reschedule the engineering discussion.
Yeah, I've had that thought that maybe it could and it should be 2 separate things. I mean, maybe we could just do the engineering one and let you do your thing, and then I don't know. We have 2 months at this point.
Well, when I raised this issue in the first place, I had not been focused on the annual report. And so that wasn't in my thought process anyway.
Okay.
But I know that some people are pretty hung up on doing that. My term hung up, maybe that's not appropriate, but I'm interested in doing that. So if that's what you want to do early, because that's about the time we do it every year, that's fine with me. But then let's just show a few pictures of some of the things we've done, and then reschedule a later date for the engineering.
And you know what, that just made me think of, Jerry, too, that if we do the annual report, give a little bit of a preview of the engineering, then we could, if we have the engineering one also booked, right, that could be an advertisement for the next thing. So I'll start.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be really great, I think. Let me just make myself a note here.
So you're asking for components of an annual report?
Yeah. You got any ideas, Ryan?
If this is something we want to do annually, it'd be nice to have a little component of any time we have Eagle projects done on the trails. To have a little subsection about.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, you know, we've had a significant amount of Eagle projects.
So, you know, as a matter of fact, if we might even want to add that as a, I don't know if you need it as a subcommittee report, but somewhere on you know, if we don't have any Eagle Scout updates or any new questions, we can just kind of say, oh, we can pass on that agenda item, but to make it a permanent agenda item, to have,
Yeah.
you know, an Eagle project report.
Yeah.
And
Would you want to deliver that part of the
Sure.
annual report, or
Sure.
I mean, does it make sense to have one of the Eagle Scouts?
well,
do it?
since I'm the new, you know, taking over for Joe Greeley as the new Eagle Scout project coordinator, yeah, kind of makes sense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do that.
Great.
Now, this would be something we report at the library in April? Is that?
Yeah.
oh,
Were you there last year? We did it?
I didn't remember it being an annual report,
Well,
but
annual is the very least term.
I remember there was a presentation about what
Yeah,
Rover
yeah.
Trails was up to, but I didn't remember it as in the form of an annual report.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we've done 2 in 3 or 4 years, you know,
Yeah.
2 annual reports. It would be nice to be better about like making sure we do it once a year, which is, you know, what I'm trying to get going for us here. But yes, thank you for pointing out that annual is.
Well, I just thought of it as
heavy air quotes.
as a Norwood Trails update at the library, as opposed to, you know, something
Yeah.
we designated as an annual
Yeah.
report, which sounds more formal.
Any other thoughts on what we ought to have as part of it? Right, so there'd be like some list of accomplishments with the bridges in there, of course. Anything specific? Or like last year, I don't know, for people who weren't there and people who don't remember, like I did a segment on like you know, the value of the trails in terms of like the natural history and the potential to be inspired for art. Or like it doesn't have to be super concrete. It can be pretty abstract if we want it to be. You know, if it could be your chance to like talk about the thing you're most excited about the trails, and it, you know, it doesn't have to be all dollars and cents and nuts and bolts and things like that.
The year before, we did the whole CPA project where we got the $86,000 and the 13
Yeah.
bridges funded. So,
And the good news is, you know, it's 2 months, at the very earliest, it's 2 months away. So if you think of anything before next meeting, or, you know, whenever, you know, we can make it work.
so
Well, I think-
the bridges are huge, and Joe mentioned last time the acquisition of Kosky's Farm.
Yes.
And Ernie's.
Oh,
Farm
yeah.
is-
Wow, that's big.
is huge. That's like one of the biggest events. That is tied with, in a way, with getting that big bridge built at Vanderbilt, Jerry. And then we're like 2/3 done with the large airport bridge too.
I wonder what we would want to say about Karski. Like, do we want to just talk about the nuts and bolts that we acquired it, and, you know, we will have some part in shaping it, or
Yeah,
do
I
we
think
want to
that's-
like dream publicly?
At least the town funded it, and it's going to be open space, and
Yeah,
we're going to be involved.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's all we really can say, because they haven't even formally closed the sale yet.
That's true.
And so, since what the contingency is that, we can't do anything on the property until, Mrs. Kowski passes. And the other part about it is that they're going to have a whole town committee made up of people drawn from different, parts of town that are going to make decisions on how to do it.
Yeah.
But it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to say, here's some things that have been brainstormed for it. Thinking down the road.
I mean, I think that would be good. We can't make any decisions, obviously, but I think, talking about the potential, getting people thinking, so they may bring ideas up, and then also soliciting people that might want to participate on the committee. So, like, getting people excited about this.
Ask for ideas.
Yeah. Well, I just think I remember that meeting we had with Tony, the sort of informal meeting where he let us dream and brainstorm for a couple minutes, and just the excitement. It's like it really starts to build when you start to think about what's possible, and that really the answer is anything is possible. But we're just going to be slow about it and take our time and be smart. And because I worry people will start to forget about it, right? And this could be a good way to like get the wheel rolling again. Definitely Kowski. That's great.
And we ought to have like a mini slideshow of the community walks we do. So any community activity like the New Year's walk, the pumpkin thing that we help out with, in October, things like that. So, any activities that we're.
I don't think we need to go too deep into that because.
No, I'm just saying like a slide for each. Just say, here's what we're doing to kind of get the word out to people. Just a quick slideshow. Here's, we did New Year's, we did pumpkins, we did whatever.
I'm of two
like 12
minds.
slides or something.
I'm of two minds on that, where like, odds are high that everybody in that crowd has been to a majority of the events that we have put on over the past year. And so I kind of feel like, we don't really need to, remind them. But it is really nice sometimes to like list all of your accomplishments in a year. And you start to realize like, whoa, we've done a lot. And so I think it is a good moment to like step back and look at it all. So I think you're right, Brian. Like really going through each one is a good idea.
Well, and even if all the people in the room are people that have already participated, it's kind of a celebration too. It's this opportunity to say, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this, even if it's like one slide a month for 12 months or something.
It's a little bit of a victory lap.
Yeah.
Great. Other thoughts on library? Frank? Yeah.
Did you talk about like Bernie Cooper Park and development in that?
I mean, that would certainly have to be in the list of accomplishments, even though it's not singularly our accomplishment, but that would be on the list. Yeah.
It's kind of similar to the Kowski Park. You were indirectly influenced.
Yeah. Actually, I've never really thought about Cooper as a way to talk about Kowski. In that it's like, hey, you really like that park? Imagine if it was way bigger. and we could, it had a working farm, and blah, 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 That is the only, if it's a complaint, the only complaint about Cooper Park is, that's it? It's like, imagine if that wasn't it.
You have any idea about it?
Yeah, right. All right. Should we do a snowshoeing walk, like a community walk?
Space out there.
Yeah.
We got snow.
We have snow.
I love
Do we have enough snowshoers?
I love the idea. I don't know everybody wants this.
I would have to purchase snowshoes, but I could live
Me
with
too.
that.
Job lots.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
They have kid-sized ones too?
Maybe not a job lot, but they do make them.
I was only teasing. I wear a size 2 on girls, so.
Well, the conditions now, everything, subjects have changed tonight. It's so packed down. You could walk across these trails with flip-flops on. And socks. But it's all packed down. It's great. But that can change with the weather in a moment's notice.
And this is so rare that we've had it for so long, you never remember
We
this.
have real snowpacks.
So you'd have to do it probably within a week, I would think, before it's gone.
I mean, February break is coming up. It'd be a good chance to maybe get families out there. I can't imagine many families have the whole suite of
We
snowshoes.
just,
for the-
did we just miss a full moon? Because the whole owl walk thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice in the snow.
And, you know, if
Get
the
some
owls are
others.
nesting, they're doing it now. But I feel like we should. I don't know when would be good though, because you're right. I mean, we get one rainstorm and this all goes away.
Yeah, it's hard to schedule a snowshoe walk.
Yeah.
It's so dependent on the weather, right? So,
Just make it a short notice. Most of ours are short notice or they get canceled anyhow.
Yeah.
heads up, if you're interested, when the snow comes, we're going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have it, right?
Snowshoe slash cross-country ski.
Joe, you trying to chime in there, bud? Oh, no, you're not. I'm trying to admit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are trying to admit, but also I am trying to chime in.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
I don't have a raised hand button on my phone here. So this is definitely an extraordinary year as far as the snowpack is concerned. One thought, I did post a couple of pictures and coincidentally the job lot ad that they
Yep,
have
that's what I said. $5
snowshoes on
ago.
sale.
Yeah.
But after I did that, and there were probably 8 to 10 people that at least gave a thumbs up or were interested. One thought is to maybe get together, if there is interest, get together with the rec department and possibly try to make a deal with Job Lot and between the rec department and the trails committee buy like 5 pair of adult snowshoes. And then just loan them out, or either loan them out or make them available if there is interest in a snowshoe walk. What was I going to say? The other thing relative to that is, you know, if you made those shoes available, then people would be more apt to go, you know, romp in the snow. So just a thought.
That is good. I feel like on the timetable that we'd have to try, that we only have a week or two.
Yeah.
You know, to try and wrangle all that together in a week or two would be tough.
So-
Definitely worth a shot.
Looking at the weather,
Yeah.
my phone just died. It looks like there's not rain. This is way forecasting out, but the next chance of rain is like February 25th. There are a few days in the 40s next week. But
How about Sunday?
I guess, aren't we due for another
This
snowstorm
Sunday?
too, besides tonight?
I mean, I don't have snowshoes
On
anyway,
Monday,
but I'm
it
away
looks
this
like
weekend.
I can let you pick.
How's Sunday look? Aren't we getting another storm?
Sunday, it says a high of 38,
Yeah. So it'd work.
partly sunny.
I mean, we could, Sunday's the 15th.
Noontime?
I'm out of town, but I mean, we could do, we could do 2 Sundays in a row, right? We could offer 2 of them. I don't know if we want to do that.
2 different trails.
Everybody, I mean, are there enough of us available the next 2 Sundays to at least be the point person there?
I'm a tentative on this Sunday. I think I'm free, but I'm not sure. Mother-in-law's 90th birthday party is going to trump.
You can't miss that.
No,
This Sunday's my wedding anniversary, so no.
An anniversary snowshoe.
We're already at it. Or I guess the third option is we just really make a push to tell everybody that snowshoeing is great and the conditions are perfect right now.
So that brings up a good point. Every time I finished, like when I finished all Leadview and when I finished all the Meadow Street trails with packing down everything with snowshoes with me and whoever was my wingman, depending on the day. When it was all done, I wanted to like blast it out in some social media thing, and we need to come up with a nice how are we gonna blast these short notice things out to everybody? And we don't have to organize it, just tell them, hey, conditions are great, because I experienced the same thing in the summer.
Yeah.
If all the trails just got freshly weed whacked, they got a nice haircut, I have a limited distribution list to tell people, and we just need to come up with a way in which we can just do a blast to all the different social media things.
I have started the conversation with the town manager's office about a social media page. It does seem like it seems favorable. I just have to like go through the step of like writing it up and meeting with Tony and but you're absolutely right, especially for things like this is a perfect example of why we need it. Sorry, Lee. Yes, go ahead. Hi, hello, Lee. Go ahead. You're muted.
Muted.
I agree.
No.
Click your microphone.
Do we have to mute it on our end, or does he?
No, he.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Chris, when I get back early next week, after Monday is a holiday, I can help you out with that too at Town Hall.
Okay. I don't have anything set up yet, but I just have to do it.
Okay.
It's one of those things. Joe Greeley?
Hi, take care. Hey, nice tan you got there, Lebo. If there is interest in either of the next 2 Sundays, I'm available to go for a walk in the woods before the snow is all gone. So if there is interest. Thanks.
Okay. I mean, that's the thing I can tell people is that Joe Greeley, the famous Joe Greeley, is one of his final acts in Norwood is going to be to lead 2 snowshoe walks, or at least, at the very least, one this Sunday.
I don't know, the final act seems so final when you say that.
Yeah.
Well, but this is the joke, right? Like, everything is the Joe's last night in town.
Yeah.
It'll be a running joke for you.
Every night in Norwood is Joe Greeley's last night in town these days. It's great.
Farewell tour. Sure.
He'll be back.
And I can probably help on Sunday.
Okay. I'll put out some small push for Sunday the 15th. Again, full disclosure, I can't be there, but do you want to do Meadow Street?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
And then Vanderbilt the next Sunday.
Yeah.
I can do the 22nd, but I can't do the 15th.
I could probably give myself a pair of snowshoes by the 22nd. 15th, Meadow, 22nd, Vandy.
Yeah.
Great. We'll make it happen. But again, this is a perfect justification for us to have this social media feed, right? Like, this snow is not going to be there for much longer. We shouldn't have to rely on the one very popular Facebook outlet. We should be able to be in control of it on our own, and this is a perfect example of that. Because the immediacy really needs to be there. All right, good. We got that one taken care of. Next upcoming thing is Earth Day in general. Is the Earth Day fair will be my understanding right now is the 26th of April. The fair that's either in the high school or gym or in the town center. I will certainly plan to be there at the Norwood Trails table. All are invited. It's a good trial run of Norwood Day halfway through the year. But just to get that on everybody's calendar, the 26th. That is subject to change. I don't know how locked in that is yet, but the date I've been told is the 26th. Cool.
Is that fair hosted at the high school?
If in case of inclement weather, it's in the high school gym. If the weather is fine, it's in the town center.
Lee wants to talk.
Yes, Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, I can help you also with that date, Chris. And then I also had talked to Marie Kidd at REP about their Earth Day event, which is usually the Friday before that.
but she had some issue with programming it that day. I don't know if anybody has been up to rec department to find out what they have settled on. They sometimes ask us to, be at their event too for Earth Day.
Okay.
But Marie said that there was some conflict. She couldn't program at that particular date. So when I get back, I'll check in with her on that.
And this is another one, like, we've got 2 months just to put it on everybody's radar for now, though. We can always fine tune this next meeting and in between then.
Yep.
Okay.
Lee, where are you?
Yeah, where are you, Lee?
He muted it.
I'm with my friends Bob and Sandy. They're in Sarasota, Florida.
That's where the can comes from.
So
I'll mail you
just
some
so you
snow.
know, just so you know, guys, the pool temperature was 89 degrees today.
So nice.
This is the first year I felt like winter is something that's being done to me. Like it is, like we're in its icy grip this year. It's not just something you have to like watch the days go by. It's like it's actively being done to us this year.
Well, we haven't had winter the last couple of
That's
years.
right. That's right. I prefer this over non-winter, I think, but I don't know.
But you have to have the positive thing is, if we didn't have the snow cover, so many bushes and flowers would be gone.
Yeah.
Because of the extreme cold we have, but we have a great insulated layer all year round, and all winter long.
Although 2 feet of snow meant the rabbits could reach another 2 feet up.
That's true. They did.
Chewing my bushes.
That's true.
So Chris, if I have an update on an Eagle Scout project, when do you want me to do that?
Well, why don't we do it right now?
Yeah.
Because we were about to get into like the Brian section of things, one of the Brian sections of things today. So, but you go ahead.
So Bridget, Joe Greeley, I spoke with Bridget this week, and she's very excited about her trail at the Ellis School, at the Ellis Playground, and she's thinking of doing like exercise stops with different cool names for each stop.
And remind me again, the name of this whole concept is the Grace Trail?
Yes,
Right,
but the Grace Trail is not a usable thing because of copyrights. So she and I were I didn't know her mother was on the phone with her. So I'm throwing book names at her for names of exercise stops, like Silent Spring, Rachel Carson. So Silent Spring, and that wouldn't be copyrighted, right? It was fun, and we were laughing. And then her mother pops in and says, I had just done In Cold Blood, and her mother said, "Hi Beth, I just wanted to let you know." Anyway, but she's very excited about doing a plan like that with stops for exercises or contemplation or a variety of things on the trail.
That's great.
And it's positive, so we'll have to communicate.
Now, is she a member of a troop?
She's she's an Eagle Scout, or she's going for her.
For Eagle?
Right. Yep.
Now, one thing I would want to mention though, in scouting, there's something called 2 deep leadership. You should never be on the phone with a minor yourself anyway. So you always want to make sure there's another adult, so it's good that her mom was on the phone.
Exactly. Well, no, and that's what her mother said, and I think about it before the call, but I kind of knew in the back of my head that she was going to do it that way, because Joe and I have seen her once or twice at the Ellis Field, and her mother was with her, so I kind of just assumed. But thank you. You're right. Okay.
So we want to probably be in touch then with the.
Exactly.
Cool. Brian, I was hoping you could give us a little bit of update about the Mass Trails grant meeting.
Sure. As you know, the last couple of months we've been, a small group of us have been getting together, and Alex Jones has been helping with the grant writing at the Community Development Office. And so I want to make sure I say thank you to Alex for that grant was submitted. on the deadline. I also wanted to say thank you to, we did get 3 scout units in addition to the other letters of support we got from the Board of Selectmen and from the Concom and so forth. We got Troop 42 from First Congregational Church, the Cub Scout Pack 49 from Grace Episcopal, and we got a Girl Scout, a local Girl Scout leader who all wrote letters of support for us for our application. So it's really cool to have that community, in addition to the entities that are benefiting, within the town. So it's, if you get a chance to, maybe I can distribute some of those letters or get people a link to it, because they're really neat the way some of them were phrased about how much a benefit they see to what we're doing out there in general. I could take a deep breath now. We as that kind of subcommittee, the thing is that if we actually get the grant, then the real work begins, and Chris, I think, had talked at one point that one of the things, for example, that we might want to put on an agenda here when you get to the part where we talk about goals for and beyond, we want to rethink some of the color coding on the trails, I think.
Don't get me started right now.
Right, no, I wouldn't do it right this second, but I'm just saying, before we go out and design all of the You Are Here things and reformat everything and whatnot, how can we make it the simplest possible in terms of, obviously every time you add a color, you add a layer of complexity. Every time you add a trail that's a short trail versus a long trail, you add arrow signs and all that stuff that have to be there to let people know what you want. So that's going to be a whole nother project, I think, if and when we do get the grant. I don't know. I haven't had I don't know how to say, is it likely or not?
When will we know?
Good question. I didn't think to look at what the deadline
Month,
is.
6
I think
months.
it's June. I think it's when.
I do feel like I remember Alex saying that it's about the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Like the new fiscal year, I believe.
So that's
is
July
what Alex
1st.
said.
July. So if they made the announcement in June, then the funding would be available starting July 1st.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
And it is a reimbursement grant. So the idea is that we have, the town has already committed to, fronting us the money so that we can buy the things, and then we apply to the state for reimbursement.
Yeah, and Alex had said that we're just not going to worry about that.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
So
figure things out, Alex.
So anyway, so it's nice to have that in and all set.
Excuse me, out of curiosity, what is the value? What's the value of the grant that you're?
I think we were looking, I don't remember what the final thing, Joe Greeley might know because he did the final spreadsheet. I think it was between 25 and 30,000.
Okay, just so he read himself, so I'm sure he's about to. How much is it, Joe?
It's 28,000 is the grant application, and the town's match was somewhere between 30 and 32,000.
Okay.
So we're asking for 28.
Thanks, Joe. Very cool. Kind of in the wayfinding realm, I learned something exciting today about because we have the new kiosks, which Brian is going to tell us about later. But as of right now, there's nothing in them. Right? And we had this talk last meeting about what are we going to do. I did have a Girl Scout Troop 64065 is excited about stewarding the kiosks and making the signs for it. We'd have to have the official maps in there too. They're just asking for the dimensions, that they're available, and just thinking, leave no trace, check for ticks. This is what poison ivy, but made by the Girl Scout troop who are just leveled up to juniors. Brian, you might have other different ideas about. I know you have you'd sent an email about the pick up after your dog signs or whatever, and you may have
Joe Barrett.
Yeah, and there may be different different ideas and plans for the kiosks out there. This isn't set in stone, but they have volunteered that they would love to, make the content for the signs, which is really exciting.
And we did get at least 2 people that are on our distribution list that pointed out, oh, I do Meadow Street, so I'd be happy to keep that one up. So if, if there was something about,
Yeah.
Going seasonal or,
Yeah. The same Girl Scout troop is working on like a family-friendly map and like bingo just for Meadow Street specifically. So I think if we get to a point where like maybe they just do that one, cool. If they can keep up all three of them, even better. But they're a junior troop and they're taking the steps towards like the first like bronze award, which they do as a group. So I think this is really
Now realize, we have 3 new kiosks, but we have 4 existing kiosks that
Correct.
also need to be coordinated in this project.
Yeah. That's a good. I mean that's kind of where we want to be, where it's like this troop is just going to do it. Like they're just going to take care of it. It's going to be great. Yeah, Vic.
At the trailhead, we've been thinking about having a dog poop disposal thing. Because probably people don't want to bring it in their car, and that's why they leave it on the trail. But if we had, a lot of places have it, where you just, either grab the thing or drop it in the little bucket thing there.
I'm going to be very careful with my words, but Lord knows why dog owners do the things that dog owners do. I'll never understand. There's a lot of it I'll never understand. But providing that would be one step in the right direction, unless they leave the plastic
Well,
bags
now,
on the trail.
don't make it a blanket thing, because there are a lot of irresponsible dog owners that do haul it out. It's just you notice the ones that don't.
That's true. That's true.
Why bag it if they're not going to pick it up?
Never understand. Just leave it on the. It's better if you just leave it on the trail.
Yeah.
Never understand that one. But that's a good. Then somebody would have to clean out
And restock it,
Yeah.
a few bags.
That's just
Well,
making
they
more
must do
work.
it. A lot of places have it now.
Yeah.
Most places, there's one who has 2 dogs and walks them a lot. Most places that have supply the bags, have a spot to put the
Yes,
bags.
yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a spot.
I think that would help anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a maintenance, it's a long-term, maintenance thing.
That is a good thought, Vic. I hadn't even thought about that. And you're talking about like not only providing the bags, but the can to put
Yeah,
the bags.
it's like one container. I'm sure that's, a standard thing that everybody buys from on Amazon or
What if
whatever.
we just have signs that say, just let your dog poop on the trail? Then we don't have to worry about it.
We can blame another thing on COVID because that's when everybody got the dogs.
I've seen them that are I think we have one in town. Do we have one over near on the dam? Near the, I'm trying to think, just off Walpole Street?
I think there is one there.
There's one, and it's just,
yes, there is
it's
one.
a post, and there's like, you can pull down there's a place where you pull down the bag, there's a little net underneath it to get the bag, and somebody must be, maybe it's
The town must have done that.
Yeah, if we can get the DPW to handle that, great. I don't think any of us should be worrying about like restocking the bags and emptying the bins that have the bags in it. I can't envision any of us volunteering to do that.
Yeah.
But you're on it, Gene?
No, good.
Thanks, Gene. Gene volunteered.
Good Earth Day discussion with
Yeah.
the DPW and just saying how to partner on this.
Yeah.
Just at
Because
the
neither
trail.
one of us wants the bacteria in the water and
well, and it's also,
Tracking
it's
the
a whole
waste
other thing to
around.
get funding for. You
Yeah.
have to have funds for the supplies and funds
Yeah.
for the installations and so on. Unless we have another Eagle Scout looking for a project.
But I think that at the very least, it's worth checking in with the DPW to say like,
You've done it before.
ask how. They have more experience with it than we do. How possible is it to get a couple more of them?
Yeah.
I think that seems to be the easiest first step anyhow.
Yeah.
Cool. Joe Barrett, I think it's your turn. What do you want to talk about?
All right, I got basically 3 documents that I passed out, handouts for everybody. Chris, I don't know if you can access the Google Drive, the G Drive, but they're all out there. And if you can open them up, then the TV audience
Yeah.
when this gets
I mean,
posted.
you do what you gotta do. I'll see what I can do on my end here.
But the first one I'll talk about, because it's something we've been talking about, is the artwork for the winter update. So basically, I've got a bunch of pictures from being out there, and I just want to put them in some sort of logical order and some sort of logical grouping. And if we,
Well, that was good.
they're there, if we want to put them into this annual report presentation. But I'll just talk you through the first 4 pages of this. First one's got our friend Jack Collins sitting up at the top left-hand corner and right next to it walking through. This is down on Meadow Street. Kevin Hawley is down underneath the Joe Greeley tree down at Vanderbilt. The next picture is my snowshoes on the trench at the large airport trench where the stick gauge is. That's what's left of that stick gauge.
Oh my God, not very much left.
The beavers chewing that thing.
Oh, wow.
The next page, our friend Doug Bean happened to be out there when I was just going out with cross-country skis at Meadow Street, so he got those 2 pictures of me. And then the bottom 2 pictures, it shows the first course of snowshoes going out. That's at Meadow Street, at Nick's Bridge. That's Nick's Bridge underneath those dips. And the one to the right is the U Street Connector Trail with 2 courses of snowshoes. So you can see how it looks like a little train went down the middle of it. That's basically what all the trails look like in Meadow Street and Vanderbilt now, that bottom right-hand picture. So they're in great shape for cross-country skiing or snowshoeing. The next handout I have is this, I don't love the name, the anatomy of a water crossing construction on the Norwood Trails. Again, just to get a chronological grouping of the pictures, stuff that we can use in this annual report.
Oh, you're not talking about this anymore. You're
Right.
on to another handout? Okay, sorry. We thought you were just on the next page of that handout.
So, there were several phases. The first one was just the materials prep. So it's an ordeal to order this stuff. So there's a little spreadsheet that tracked, the materials for one of the bridges. That one says 24 feet. The middle airport water crossing. So that's the top pictures, Home Depot dropping it off. The bottom 2 pictures are us cutting the wood. If we flip over to the next page, we have transportation. That's a DPW truck picking it up at the garage up at Winter Street, dropping it off down at Meadow Street. We pulled some of the stuff in by the gorilla carts. Those are the middle 2 pictures. It's Kevin Broderick on the picture on the right. Those sandbags on the bottom left were pulled in by our MVP of the year, as far as I'm concerned, Greg Pitts, who was able to pull that trailer with an ATV. There's 33 sandbags in there. They're about 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds a piece. It saved us a week or 2 of old people carrying them no more than 3
Well, how
at a
come us
time.
old people had to carry them out? We didn't have the ATV when we had to take them out.
Right. The next picture, the bottom right, we've got 2 gorilla carts in tandem with some of the wood for the sleepers we built. I got a great video of that being pulled, and it's got John McGrath in the back using that back handle to help steer the back part of this train.
It's like a fire truck.
Yeah, it looks cool.
The next picture, phase 3 construction, that's the sleepers at the large airport trench. On the left, they're set. You can see the orange lines going across the trench there. And the one on the right is the Vanderbilt sleepers being set with Jerry, and he's got the doopy level there. If you go to the next page, you'll see cofferdams. Oh, we don't like cofferdams, but unfortunately, we didn't get the materials in place in time before the water started to rise. But the first 2 pictures, we're actually cutting through the ice with a chainsaw to build the cofferdams that you see in the bottom left is the cofferdam in the ice The one on the right is the coffer dam we did at Vanderbilt. If you go to the next page, which is page 5, you'll see the construction of the cribbing. So there's a bunch of guys in the water, bailing in the top page. There, Kevin Broderick's pounding the rebar in on the bottom cribbing board on the top right.
Kevin's got some great smiles on his face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was in there with his boots were overflowing until he didn't care. He didn't even care. The middle row it's starting to build up, alternating layers to go in one direction, to go in the next direction, to go in the next direction, just rotating through. The bottom picture is John McGrath drilling the last board on the cribbing at Vanderbilt. After the cribbing's built, or in parallel, depending upon how many people we have to build the sleepers. So these sleepers on the top of page 6, being built by me and Jack Collins. They're 24 feet long, those sleepers. They're connected with those plates that are in the top right-hand picture. Then they have to be put on top of the cribbing, between the sleeper and the cribbing. So that's the bottom left picture. You see a bunch of people helping carry them out one at a time to rest them on the cribbing. The next page, you can see the second 3. The far end of the picture is the first 3 down, and they're finishing the second 3. That's at Vanderbilt, those stringers. The next page, page 7, you'll see the decking being put down. That's the last couple of boards being done. Roy Norpel's in the bottom. His side was the slower of the 2 teams putting down the decking. The other team was already done.
Having a beer.
And then the bottom pictures, the railings getting put up. First the posts, then the railings, and then the bottom picture is Chris putting some angle supports down on the bottom post where just to further support the post vertically.
Will you ever put another post on the other side? Really?
I don't think so.
Just for symmetry?
Yeah, it's extra work, extra money, extra stuff to carry in there. The page 8 is a finished crossing. That's the Vanderbilt Trench from 2 different locations. The first one is looking at it from the river. The other side is looking at it from facing the river. The river's behind the dam on the bottom picture. It's from where one of the little beaver dams is, that's down there. And then the very last page just talks about it takes a team. It shows a whole group of people. One of my carrying the sleepers down again on the top left. That's where we have the most people when we're moving those sleepers because they're big and heavy. And then there's a great picture of Gary Riggett laying across the decking. Gary's from the Walpole Trails Committee. He's in the bottom right picture. But there's a shout out at the top to the Norwalk Trails Advisory Committee, the Community Development Department, who helps with procuring all this materials and the permitting. The DPW helps with, they gave us a garage to cut this stuff and helped us with transportation. Norwood Engineering did drawings we needed for the permits. Norwood Residents were some of the volunteers. NEPRA had volunteers and they did some crowdsourcing to get some more extra volunteers for us. Clay Subaru I mentioned because that's where Greg Pitts actually works, even though he's doing it in his own time, but he's actually had to repair some things and Clay let him use some of the equipment at the shop. And the Walpole Trails, because Gary Riggett's sleeping on the bottom.
I have a question, just because I don't know. Is there a difference between the word you're using, stringers and sleepers?
Yes.
Okay.
So the stringers are the big boards that the decking sits on top of.
Okay.
The sleepers are the boards that are at the end, that the lines are going across. So the sleepers sit on the stringers sit on the sleepers on the bank, then they go to the cribbing in the middle, and then it goes to the sleeper on the other side. The stringers are the long, the long spans.
Really long.
Yeah.
And Joe, would you be happy just saying water crossing construction at the Norwood Trails versus the anatomy? You didn't see
Yeah.
it like that.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I didn't, anatomy was just, I didn't know when I started it, I didn't know where I was gonna go, but.
Didn't know how to call it.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that off. In fact, I'd like to replace some of the graphics. Actually, in here, there's a placeholder for the canoe transportation. Because there was no picture of our friend Doug Bean, who paddled 9 sandbags at a time, times at least 4 trips from the end of the Green Trail all the way to the large airport trench by himself and his dog. So 9, 18, 27. 27 or 36 of those were moved by canoe.
Definitely
You
more
remember how
effective than
long it took us to move those by hand out to the? My
Yeah.
God.
And how do you get off the canoe without falling in?
Well, the hard part was he went down a really steep bank to load it, like a really steep bank, probably 12 feet high, and unbelievable pitch on it. But we will be using canoes to get on the next 2 bridges because we'll be coming in from Signal Hill. So we'll have pictures of canoes transporting materials at the next 2 bridges after we finish the large airport trench. The third document I passed out was kind of like a little kind of fun project. We've talked about the trail, the normal trails being able to be connected to Blue Hills, which they can be. Obviously, we don't touch Kent, so we have to go through another town because Blue Hills is not in Norwood. But this particular map, this document on page 1, it shows the Topgolf parking lot. And there's a blue and white trail that basically goes in through a high spot from the edge of the parking lot. And my understanding is Canton has an easement from Topgolf to allow people to access the property. It's all owned by DCR. You can walk down to the edge of the river and then go along the river pretty far, probably 4/5 of the way till you get to Ponkapog Brook. Ponkapog Brook is going to need a water crossing of some sort. But then once you get across Ponkapog Brook, you can go a half a mile basically to Green Lodge Street. When you're at Green Lodge Street, you can cross Green Lodge Street, go along the river again, go underneath 128, and there's a big long shelf, it's high clearance, you can walk along it as long as the river isn't at like 14 or 15 feet, then that shelf might be underwater. But it brings you out to that dashed line at the top is Burma Road Carriage Trail. The Burma Road Trail it's a dirt road. It's a straight line. It goes all the way up to where the Neponset River crosses.
Also, if you go through the clover leaves, you can get to the Little Blue.
So
if you take a right through the clover leaves.
I'll get there. I'll take you to the Skyline Trail. So if you turn to page 2, you will see the walk map between Green Lodge Street and the park and ride on 138. So the green dot at the top is Green Lodge Street. You can see where Linda Keofer and myself walked underneath 128, and then we went by the shed at off of 128. It's like a highway department shed, and we got on the Skyline Trail. The Skyline Trail takes you to that 138 park and ride. All those trails, there's a million trails on that side that we just tie into. So that's that leg. The next page talks about Topgolf to the Ponkapog crossing, which is the south leg. That's almost a mile, and then it's almost a half a mile once you cross the stream. I couldn't cross the stream easily, so I came in from the other side. That's why there's 2 maps there. The other side, the half mile one, goes along the river as well. There is a the next page shows a little ways up from where the confluence is of Ponkapog Brook and the Neponset River is a sewer easement that goes across. There's a raised manhole on that sewer easement, tangent to the bank. It's really high. It's like 6 feet high. There's a beaver dam that's about 6 feet high. Maybe the manhole is 12 feet high, to tell you the truth. And you could walk across that beaver dam. You would have to climb up that dark spot to the right of that top right picture is the top of the manhole before I pulled all the vines that were off of it. The bottom left shows where the ideal place is for the bridge, which is, I eyeballed it 40 to 50 feet. But the bottom right shows the manhole cover. It's like 12 feet at the most to the manhole cover. But then you gotta climb up over that manhole cover, or you need to put another plank at an angle, like a 45-degree angle, to get to the other side. So it's pretty passable for a plank crossing there as well. Problem is, now you gotta get to the river on both sides and get through a bunch of silty dogwood. So the ideal place is to have a bridge up on the high ground by the river, even though it's a long bridge. That, part of the thought behind this is there could be a really cool, instead of the farm to farm walk that Lee does, it would be the brewery to brewery, where you could walk from Castle Island to Trillium in 38.
Bravo.
Yeah, it would be great. It'd be like 5 miles probably, one way to do the whole thing. And 10 if you did round trip. Before I knew it was going to be okay, I just did some bushwhacking to walk along the river just to make sure it was going to be viable. We did walk across no less than 4 beaver dams to do the large, the 1.5 mile leg. One of the beaver dams was probably 20 feet long. I've got a picture of John McGrath walking across, and he was with me that day. But the next page, page 5, shows what I wanted to at least, the first thing I did was walked along 95. It's a horrible place to walk. It's on the embankment from the highway. There was like a coyote trail that I was like walking off halfway down the embankment, but it's covered with broken bottles. I counted them, 50 rubber tires thrown over the guardrail on the edge of the embankment.
It's downgrading.
Yeah, but I would, I never would want that to be the rail trail, but I explored it just because it might have been the only option. I wanted to make sure I had an option. But that's it. That's basically all I have.
Joe, this has been a dream of mine for 10 years.
It's gorgeous, and it's all DCR property. Behind Topgolf, between Topgolf and the river, I think is Canton Conservation Land, and I think that's where the easement is been granted by Topgolf to Canton, but I have heard that word of mouth. What I want to do is reach out to 2 people. Or several groups. I want to reach out to Canton Conservation Commission or the Trails Committee, probably.
I don't know if Canton. I've worked a little bit with like the Canton Conservation Committee, but I've never heard of anything of a Canton Trails Committee.
There is a Trails Committee at a website. There's not a lot of information on it. But,
Very active.
But I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to reach out, find out the right person. I know people who know everybody at Blue Hills, so I can get in touch with them. But most importantly, Amber Stearns, who is in charge of, she works the Appalachian Mountain Club, and she's in charge of the Bay Circuit Trail.
Because this is the Warner Trail, right? This is where we say this is the reimagining of the Warner Trail.
Right, this could tie into it. Some of these broken legs that are, and the gold drawings on this map on the first page are old fragments of the old Warner Trail that have all been lost to development. But this could become the new Warner Trail connection. It could go right through Norwood, especially if we get a bridge to cross A, Purgatory Brook, and B, the Neponset River, and then I can get them all to Jarvis Jarvis Park. Jarvis, what's it called?
Farm.
It's Jarvis Farm, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, Peswick. They're going to Peswick. They
Ah.
can get into Peswick, and Peswick isn't too far from where the Warner Trail
Yeah, no, it's not. It really isn't.
So,
that's right.
So that's the hope, to let somebody take that on.
Well, I think the AMC is great, because if we can get the AMC help, they have way more like social capital than we.
Yep. And they're really into these spokes on the Bay Circuit Trail. The spokes that go into Walpole, go into Norwood, and go into all these other surrounding towns around the whole Bay Circuit Trail. So we want to be one of the spokes.
Jerry's got something. Go ahead, Jerry.
So I didn't get to hear all of that discussion, but I think we should talk to NIPA, because they've been working on a bunch of trails to connect Pocket Pond all the way into Mattapan through, I think it's out of Dorchester where the new Burma Road comes in by Paul's Bridge. And then we're going to go behind in some fashion. And I don't know the whole road detail. But the plan was, when they called that, was hiking biking trails as far as Pocketbook. So we might want to connect with them and make sure we're not at cross purposes.
Yep, nope, this goes right to the Burma Trail too. In fact, we came in from the Burma Trail because when Linda and I walked the Skyline Trail from the parking lot, when we got towards 128, we went up this trail that brought us pretty far up, and we crossed the Burma Trail. When we came back, we took the most direct route by the salt shed, I'll call it, the highway department shed, but it's right there on their existing trails. So this could tie right into that easily.
Do we know anything about what would the permitting be to get under 128? Is that federal? Because the interstate?
I don't know if you need a permit, just walk it.
Yeah, I mean, just the only other thing too is I've had a handful of angry encounters with police officers over on the Cloverleaf because there's parts over there where like it is a public trail and there's parts where it isn't, and it's not clear when you have crossed that line.
Yeah.
I've definitely had cops come and just screaming at me over there.
Maybe that's a partnership we could begin to build by saying we don't want to upset the neighborhood or anybody here. We want to do this safely, but we can see from here to there, and we'd like to know a safe way to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the DPW.
No, you don't.
It just adds an extra mile or two to go around it.
And it's cool to be on the Ghost Cloverleaf over there. It's cool to be over there.
But yeah, the Skyline Trail, it's flagged, it's got blue flags, and it's right up against the friggin' Cloverleaf. It's from here to the screen, you know.
And it's still on the agenda to do that whole intersection over with flyovers and all that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago that they were talking about having a flyover at the end, which would probably go toward the shed and come back on.
I can't
They
believe
need to
I
do
haven't
something.
heard anything for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's the most dangerous section of road in eastern Massachusetts.
And they know it, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
No.
The town of Milton blocks every traffic calming legislation that they try to put through.
But to Chris's initial question, people canoe under it every day.
Yeah, that's a good
Walking
point.
along the side of the road is no different than canoeing.
That's a fair point. Yeah, it's just there. You can go. Yeah. I love this, Joe. This is the. I've spent so much time back there trying to figure this out, and you figured it all out. Great.
That's all I got.
Great job.
Excellent. Great job. All right. That brings us to Brian's going to tell us about the kiosk installation.
You know,
process.
hopefully, I got a link from Alex earlier today. I uploaded 2 folders, but when I went back to that link, it's empty. It's got like,
I think that's my fault, and I think I can find it for you.
oh, okay. So open the first file folder, which would be the one from December 25.
Okay. Hold on, sorry, wrong thing.
It would start, probably says Yash Shah's Eva Project. Would be the one of the 2 files. There you go. So the one from 2025. There you go.
It should.
Yep, looks like it. All right, so, all right, I tried to pare these down so that I could get, I could kind of give you some of the basics. This is Meadow Street. What you see there is they've got 2 posts in the ground. As an improvement on the kiosk design that we had from before, where the kiosk 2 side posts actually go in the ground, which makes them subject to rot, and then you have to replace the whole, rebuild the kiosk. What they decided to do is put 2 posts in the ground, and then the kiosk would stay above ground being attached to those. So if anything rotted, it would just be those 2 posts, and then you just unscrew the kiosk from those posts, replace the posts, and screw the kiosk back in. So it gives it a lot better. And what you see them doing there is they've put the posts in the ground. They have a like a jig or a template, I don't know what you call that set of wood there, but that tells them the size the kiosk is, so they can measure where those posts go and know that they're going to be, that the kiosk is going to fit in the middle of them. So that's what they've done there. That's at the entrance to Meadow Street. Here you can see they filled in some with dirt, and then they went with gravel. So it's going to, to get the water to drain some, so you can see them doing that. Just hauling the gravel. It was quite an effort. They use a lot of tools on this. They used some power tools for cutting through rock. They used, some pickaxes. Here you see just a regular post hole digger and a guy holding I don't know what you call those big things. They're like crowbar kind of things, big long things. Yeah. So, all right. There's one of the power tools they had to use to break through some rocks.
They picked a nice day anyway.
Yeah. Well, now you'll notice on this one, this was done in December, and their idea of putting these posts in ahead of time is they wanted to get them on while the ground was still soft.
Smart.
If you'll see in future photos when we did it when it was 4 degrees out and 2 feet of snow on the ground, that it was good that these posts were already on the ground and then everything else was above ground. So they, on all 3 different sites, once they put the posts in the ground, they have the caution tape on.
Is that Father Max?
That one's Father Max, yep. So there you go. You see the jig there and the guy with the level, making sure everything is, straight up and down and the right distance for where the posts are.
Hold on.
Okay, so is that the end of that file folder? So that just gives you some idea of what went into putting these posts in the ground. The posts, you'll notice there, are taller than they will need to be in the eventual thing, which you'll see in the next file folder. So that was done in December. The day we picked, I think it was 4 degrees out when we actually installed them. All right, so you want to start at the other end of this. That's the last slide. Is there a way to go? Oh, yep, no, too far forward.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, somehow you ended up at the end. Well,
That's the first one, Brian.
all right, well, we'll go through. For some reason,
That's Father Max, right?
let's do the last. That's the final thing. Now you can see there that the side posts have been angled, but the posts holding the kiosk are flush with the ground.
The decking mahogany is a nice touch.
That was an additional thing that they did. Was they made the mahogany. Now the mahogany was heavier than previous, so one of the modifications they did was they put the hinges on top. Our previous ones had been the hinges on the side, so you could open it all this way. But that was a pretty heavy piece. They brought it in and they had the center section made, and then they had the roof, which was put on later because assembling that and then try to carry it over would have been too hot. So you'll see some of these other photos here. I guess if we're going to go backwards, it won't be in the kind of construction order, but you'll get a sense of, oh yeah. Yeah, skip that. That was you see, there's a guy with a mask there with the blue jacket. That's repurposing an old COVID Boy Scout mask for the cold day. And
Looks like someone from a Batman.
yeah. So anyway, they forgot to tell me, take your mask off before we take this photo, so I just figured I'd use it. So here you can see him just leveling up that roof, putting it on, and so we're going to go backwards and show. Now this might be loading a video. There's like a 22-second video of. So this was an innovation that they built. They built this thing that slides down from inside the display case to hold that door up.
Cool.
Because it has to be opened up. You slip in from the other side to load the kiosk.
Very smart.
All right. And here you have to anchor the key. There's on the back side anchoring the kiosk to the post. Leveling things up. There's bringing it in. You can see in the background, there's the beveled posts that we're putting around in December. And I think if we're going backwards, you're going to see there you go. There's the chainsaw and cutting those angles. They measure them especially now. All right, now we're over at Ellis. And this is the only, you see how far back that is, and where snow shovels were part of the tools that day. The only thing that was kind of the only thing that because that's so far back, we had 2 potential sites for them, and I know Gene and I went down there and polled people and said most people said we like the one closer to the parking lot, but of the 2 that got approved, they put it back next to the storage shed. And I really didn't understand why. They just said, "Oh, that's what Joe told us." So, they got the but Joe had showed 2 options for them. But anyway, there's the crew finishing up that section. Brian, did we get the key to the access to kiosks? Okay, yeah, Joe just popped up a message there. There are bolts holding them, holding the kiosks. So. We are going to need to supply the locks.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here they're just hauling the roof in. I think that roof weighed almost as much as the kiosk. Now here again, we're going backwards. There was only this kiosk, the one at Ellis, was the post didn't quite line up, so we had to put shims in there to drill that in place. And so here you can see that before we trimmed the shims there, before we trimmed he's drilling through them. And also when you attach one side to a post, sometimes you have to level up the other side before you can screw it in. That's what he's doing there. This was they had a 2x4 there that was would tell them how far off the ground to cut that bevel, and then this is them just leveling it across so the bevel is cut evenly on both sides. Again, the snow shovel. You'll see in the background there, we had a couple of trucks that Twin Peaks Construction, who was an assistant scoutmaster for Troop 42, gave them access to his shop in Foxborough, where they did all the construction. This is one of his trucks you see behind Yash. Yash is the Eagle Scout candidate who's shoveling the path for that day. He'd actually gone in the night before to do some of this shoveling. So,
how do we give Twin Peaks publicity?
Well, I'm talking about it now. There's one other. While I'm talking about it, there's one other business that I'd like to give promo to, and that is Subaru funded this thing.
Yeah.
So Clay Subaru gave the funding for all the lumber and all the materials that were used to make this happen. This is Meadow Street. You can see how far back it is through the snow to get there, but that's right next to there's the parking area and there's the walkover, and that's just outside of the gate.
I like it.
Well, the nice thing about it is that's the view from the street. So it's like, guess what, everybody? There is a trail here. If they didn't already know, now they know.
It's important.
All right, so you're going to go backwards, and you're going to see some of the other. Here's another. We tried to get a picture of each team. A lot of them were the same guys. But, it gives you a nice view of how that turned out.
Chris mentioned the mahogany frame, which is gorgeous, but I think the wooden shingles on the roof are gorgeous too. The cedar shingles instead of asphalt. Very nice.
Yeah, that was a nice. So there are a couple of a lot of innovations they did here. This is just Yash Shah, little pride of accomplishment here. Wanted to make sure that he cleaned the fingerprints off after we were all done with our.
Is there corkboard in there? Or what?
What's that?
Is a corkboard in there? What's?
I'm not sure. It's not the typical kind of corkboard. It looked like that kind of gray. Matted particle board, or I don't know what you call it, fiber board. So, Okay, here's a view from the other angle. You saw the picture earlier showing, you know, how that holds it up. That's how it folds out. I think at some point, depending on how tall the people are that are going to be loading that up, you know, we might just make the one slightly longer so that it holds it up a little higher. Because there is another 6 inches in there that we could use if we wanted to make that piece longer. Okay, here you can see him bringing in the hauling in the roof separately. And I think that's the last one. I had a little movie which, you know, is like 22 seconds of showing what's involved in hauling that roof in, hoisting it up, having the 2 guys on the ladders centered in place, and that was the one where you got a little buffer earlier there, so we don't need to go back to it. But they started out picking stuff up about 9:30 in the morning in Foxborough, and it was about 1 in the afternoon by the time they got done all 3. So it was a really efficient group of people that got it all together. It's very cool. And so proud of these guys. You know, I've mentioned this before, but Yash was one of the Cub Scouts in my Cub Scout pack, and now he's like 17-year-old working toward his Eagle Scout badge. So so that's cool. Matter of fact, his Eagle Scout mentor was in my Cub Scout pack too, who is now the Scoutmaster of the troop. So, wow.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, very.
And I think last month I showed you some of the construction that went on. I think some of my slides from last month you already saw. I didn't figure out to add them again today. Just showing at the site all that was involved in the way they measured the shingles to put them on. You mentioned how gorgeous they were. There's a lot that went on it. There is tar paper under it. There is, there was a lot of care taken to make sure that this they did a good job. And I've already sent an email to Yash and the team that's coordinating his Eagle project with him to say, hey, make a note of all these innovations you did, because we still only have the original design that we had for previous kiosks that we had, and these upgrades that you did. We want to make sure that we factor them in, because part of our Mass Trails grant was for additional kiosks, and we'd like to to do the best practices and
How many
and
more
adopt
do
some
you
of these.
figure?
What's that?
How many more kiosks do you figure?
I don't remember.
Vanderbilt could use one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know there's several. Again, if I don't know if Joe has access to a spreadsheet, he could tell you exactly. But I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I still wish they would have put something in the kiosk. Like,
Well, if somebody give it to us ahead of time, we might have put one of the brochures in.
because I was worried that, like, if he's got to go before the Eagle board, like, they're not really doing anything right now. They will do something someday.
Oh, when they do a ribbon cutting, I'm sure.
Yeah, they gotta.
Yeah, I know that Subaru. There's one other addition going to be happening on this, and Subaru is making up 4 or 3 plaques that are going to be attached to the thing itself, saying sponsored by, and it'll have Yash's name, the troop number, Eagle Scout Project. So there'll be a plaque attached to it, and they're going to want to do some sort of official ceremony. But it's
I wonder.
yeah, and the other reason he really didn't want to put anything.
Cost of maps, like blowing up the nice maps, if they're gonna.
Well, and
if they're fronting the bill for this and they're putting a plaque on there, they want it to be a complete kiosk.
Now, one of the things we might want to do to protect this is, I don't know who buys our padlocks, but right now there's just bolts holding those closed. So that's another reason they didn't want to put anything necessarily in it yet until it was locked.
What's up, Joe?
Hail. Just based on the last comment as far as content goes, we did have in addition, Chris, to the Girl Scout troop that you referenced. I know Beth and Jim had volunteered to update the content at Ellis Field.
Yeah.
And we also had, I don't have it in front of me, but we did have somebody step forward. One of the frequent flyer volunteers volunteered to update the Meadow Street kiosk with content. But I know the wayfinding subcommittee had done extensive work as far as potential content. So we may have already, we being they, may have already kind of defined what to include. Those maps, we do have blow-up maps that I think they're 11 by 17. We actually got them printed and laminated at the print shop next to Town Hall, but like Staples could do it as well.
Yeah.
And we did both sides in 11 by 17.
Oh, great.
So that might be of interest. Thanks.
Do you have those at home, Joe?
I'm sorry, do I have what?
Those maps, the laminated ones, you have those?
No, I'm saying the ones that are in the cases at.
Like Germany.
Okay.
The bigger ones, right at Germany Brook.
Okay, I get it.
Right, so we could do the same thing with any of these newer locations as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
And Joe, do you know where we get do we have like one key that fits a set of locks, or where do we get the locks from that we have on the...
I'm sorry, Brian, the audio is really crappy here.
Brian was just asking about the locks, like where we would get locks.
Bagels and locks. So the two at Germany Brook, we went out and bought we went out and bought the locks for Germany Brook, and Lebo has keys to. It's one key for both locks.
Yeah.
The same key, and then the two smaller ones at Mylod and Ryan Drive. Is actually a special. It's almost like an Allen wrench kind of screw that the key is in the shed at the Mylod Street. I think both Lee and Joe Barrett know where that is.
Okay.
So if we wanted locks, we'd have to go out and buy them and key them accordingly and make sure the keeper of the key is pretty well known.
Just put it up in the kiosk.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably lock it in the shed near the community garden.
Hide a key.
Yeah. Oh, get one of those rocks.
That's right.
Lots of rocks out there. Thanks, Joe.
The locksmith place in South Norwood's done a lot of work for the community garden.
Yeah.
They can make key any lock that you would want.
Yeah, I don't know, since we have, like at Germany Brook, the same key fits both kiosks, is there a way to get locks that'll fit the same set of keys?
Just make the keys. You get the locks, then you make the keys.
No, what I'm saying is, the same key fits both locks. Is there a way to get 3 more locks that work with that same key?
Probably not.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, they should be all the same.
Right, that's why I didn't know what options there are there, but.
Can you copy them?
So right now, they're not locked, is the bottom line.
That's okay. All right, I know it's 8:30. I do really want to talk about goals for the year. Anything we'd like to get done just in the calendar year. Maybe over, the next 12 months. And I put this out there last month, so, there's been time for it to stew. Does anybody have any goals for us as the Trails Committee? We've talked, a couple have come up today already. There's a social media presence. Brian, what was yours? I had it written down too. Hold on. We talk about color coding, simplifying the trail color coding.
Yes.
That one, I think.
Well, and the other, because of the fact that the You Are Here signs are oriented exactly the opposite. So like, right now, our brochures show the signs in landscape, whereas the You Are Here signs are portrait. So redoing the map to fit that format, unless we want to, make a wider post with a different sign.
Joe Greeley, that's you again. Is that from earlier? You have a goal to talk about?
That's from earlier.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Anybody else?
How many bridges? What's the goal for bridges?
Water crossings.
Well, we got-
Water crossings.
We got 13 funded,
Yeah.
in which 2 are done. One's 3/4 done.
6 are permitted.
Yeah. So, we can finish all those in about a year, probably.
Yeah.
But we need to start jump-starting the process to get something going for the Neponset River Bridge and the Purgatory Brook Bridge,
Yeah.
which weren't part of that CPA request. Because it's gonna take, we're gonna need it engineered first, so that we know what a price is gonna be, so that then we can go to Community Preservation Act or grants or whatever we're gonna do for money to fund those. But it's gonna take a while to get them engineered, because it's probably permits that need to be pulled. Well, building them's one thing, that's a whole other story. Get them engineered and get them the price nailed down so that we can actually secure money is step 1 and step 2.
So February 2027. Where would you like to be in that process?
Oh, it'd be great if we had engineering drawings from them, but then we could, well, it'd be really good if we had them in November, because if we knew we were gonna have it in February, we might be able to slip it in the CPA timeframe. It's like November, you have to have the applications in for CPA money. If we go CPA, the CPA route, we might not, but.
Is that Signal Hill?
No, well, one will be across when it crosses down by Vanderbilt, to cross the Neponset River.
Yeah.
That's the Neponset River one. The Purgatory Brook one will be behind Ranger, to cross from the airport side of the brook to the Ranger side of the brook.
Were we thinking of connecting to Signal Hill at all?
Canton can, dive to us, but
Yeah.
we're worried about just getting the northern one. That's,
Because if we were going to do that, we got to follow.
And that would be
trustees
NEPA, I
on
think,
that.
right?
if we went over to Canton, we'd have to come back again on the other side to get, to keep the tire
Yeah.
going, so.
Yeah, we
Then
don't
we
want
need
to
to
give
go
our
to
we don't want to
the-
give our trail to the trustees and then have everybody go that way, right? We want them
Right.
to stay.
And then how
Lock
are
'em
they
in.
how are they gonna get that onto
Yeah, lock 'em
the
in.
Purgatory Brookside?
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. Engineering drawings for the 2 non-CPA funded bridges. Okay. Brian?
Well, presuming we get the Mass Trails grant, that's a whole nother project. Getting the wayfinding put up, spending the money, building it, deciding where they're gonna go, what forms they're gonna take. A lot of this, how it's gonna look, how the shapes and colors look, the different types of signage and so forth, that was laid out. And we did do Joe Barrett did a run around several of the trails where he did some preliminary. I think it ought to go here. I think it ought to go here. But it's. I think that was before he blazed about 6 more trails. So that's going to be.
And if there is agreement that we need to simplify the trail of colors, which I feel strongly we do need to. That kind of sets us back a step too in terms of we have to do all that planning. And we don't have to do it before we get all the supplies and everything. Right. It would be helpful if we did.
Well, what I'm saying is if we make it a project now, that's something we want to do regardless, whether it's we get the Mass Trails grant or not.
Yeah.
The presumption is we will, but if we're planning it ahead of time, we could maybe say get a small group of us go out, pick a trail each month for the next 6 months and say, we're going to go here. Here's the 4 different types of signs. What do you think? Let's go walk it together and mark down where we would put it, what it would look like. And then, even going out and saying, gee, this extra trail here could be just part of this loop, so it doesn't need its own color. There are a lot of stuff like that we could do, building that into it. Then, presuming we get the grant, then we're kind of like we can hit the ground running with going and purchasing it because we've already made all these decisions.
Yeah.
But isn't it kind of one of the first things you want to do? I hear all the time, I'm afraid to go in there because I'm going to get lost. or I couldn't find my way. And, you know, so if we postpone another 6 months, you know.
Well, I'm not talking about postponing it 6 months. We don't get the money till July.
Well, that's.
I'm just saying, in the next 6 months, before we actually get the money.
Couldn't we do signage before that?
I think we're gonna, we don't have, we're not, till we get the grant, we're not spending the money, right? So.
I don't know what the budget was for that.
So, and I'm not sure how it works in terms of grant year, maybe Joe knows, but like if we spent money in June, but the grant is from July to July, we probably wouldn't be able to get reimbursed for something we spent in June, probably. So the idea is that.
I could laminate a million of those little arrows.
Right, right. No, I mean, we had that wonderful, what do we have, like laminated construction paper that you used for this way to the beaver thing?
It was 40 gram copy paper.
Oh, 40 pounds. No. But I mean, you know, it was nice to have them. And matter of fact, I like that idea in terms of, you know, maybe we do something like that preliminarily as a way, before we build the big finger pointing signs on a post. Let's try a couple of these and see if it works for people, and then we just oh yeah, that works for people. They like that.
And you get the comments.
Yeah, we get the comments. Does this work for you? Does it?
Yeah.
And then we actually, you know, before we spend the $100 on the sign, and you know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an ongoing conversation.
Not that hard, people. It's
No, it's not that
Well, I mean, no, right now.
No, this is an ongoing conversation. We don't need to get into the weeds of how we do this now.
But right now, it's ribbons on trees.
Yeah.
And so.
And it works.
You know, anything is going to be an improvement, and I think the fact that we now have at least the maps that people can follow, and if they've got their phone with them and they have all trails or something like that, they can at least, you know, find their way back to where they started, you know, looking at the maps.
One of my goals is for us to have a more interactive online map you can pull up on your phone while you're out there. I've been chipping away at making it the only way I know how, which is walking the trails and then exporting the files into Google Maps. It's a very laborious process, but it does work. You can see yourself on the trail on the map and know where you're at, but it involves me walking all the trails. Other goals in other directions. Things we'd like to see happen.
Something we said over and over where it had multiple connections to is how we do the public communication about what we're doing. And I was thinking of, we have a first week or New Year's walk. We have maybe Earth Day each time. We have celebrations with opening new kiosks or opening new things. So
I think one thing that on my list along that is, and this would be easy enough to do just amongst us, but some kind of like shareable calendar where it's all, you know, like it's a Google calendar, right? We can see what's coming up and what we have planned and where we need help and things like that. And that would be easy enough to make just amongst us, a shareable Google calendar. And then if, in theory, it could end up on the website, the town website too, right? And people could just look at that and see what's going on.
And maybe once a month you have a trails, a little blip in the paper every month.
Yeah.
Just what we're doing, what we did.
Yeah. Jeff would gladly.
He's been great.
Yeah, he's doing such a good job.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also had one thing I'd love to see us move towards is specific hikes, like a bird walk. You know, a fall foliage, like some specifically themed hikes. I'd love to. I worked with this one, as we say at Trailside, wicked good birder, wicked good birder, who was only part-time at Trailside, and she would love to be thrown $50 to just lead a walk for an hour or two, right? And we could throw together $50 for somebody to really take us out there. They're finding eastern meadowlarks at the Norwood Airport. They've been real. This birder has been real hot on the airport. Out by this is a good time of year where when it snows, birds will find open areas. So airports are real hot spots if you want to look for good birds this time of year. They've told me so. I would love to have somebody, more of those guided hikes, like with a specific purpose. That's probably on me to plan. As Joe really would say, thank you for volunteering, Chris. But
About 6 years ago, we had a dog-friendly hike. It was like, bring your dog, and we'll show you how to properly walk the trail and do what you're supposed to do with your dog. And this was a woman who, she would board dogs, and she, when you went away on vacation, she'd watch your dog with a dog walker.
Yeah.
She had dogs of her own, and so she just hosted us. Says, this is how you're a good steward of the trail if you're gonna walk your dog there. And she led this hike, which was specific for dog owners. So
Joe really has his hand up again.
He just will not go away. So two things, those last couple of topics. One, there is such a thing. In fact, they just came out this week with another round of grant funding opportunities from the Norwood Cultural Council.
Oh yeah.
And one of the potential worthy grant applications would be to fund either one or a series of guided walks. Whether it's birding or whatever the, geology, whatever the topic, historical, Native American, whatever the topic or series of topics would be, that would be a great place to get funding for it.
That's a great point.
The other new addition to the list is the Open Space Master Plan. The existing Open Space Master Plan runs through 2027. And so not only does it make sense for the Trails Committee to try to emphasize the fact that this is a living document and what have we done about it lately, that might be a good thing to invite either Alex or Sarah or somebody to give a refresher course at some upcoming meeting, and then make sure that the Trails Committee is leading the charge on the existing Open Space Master Plan to make sure that we're accomplishing some of those things. And then related to that is going forward to make sure that somebody's got a revision that's going to run from 2027 onward for the Open Space Plan. Also, with the parallel to that, if the comprehensive plan is ever brought to fruition, there's a lot of good, juicy trails and open space centric topics there that it would be good. It might be a good goal for the Trails Committee to make sure that that's a regular topic. So, thank you.
To that note, we need to keep beating the drum for some land acquisition too, for some trail locations that's not going to happen if we don't nudge it.
Yeah. Good. Is it members minute time? That's members minute. It's 8:45. It's members minute time. For two of our guests who are members minute is usually we take a minute, we share an observation we've had on the trail in Norwood, or it doesn't necessarily have to be in Norwood, a good hiking moment, a good outdoor moment. There's something you notice out there, wildlife sightings is always good. But just some sort of, nice outdoor.
There's sometimes an exciting idea that from when you were on vacation and you found something.
Yeah. Something you saw somewhere
You want
else.
to bring back.
Lee, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's sleeping.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
I just wanted to circle back. Maybe you can use this as one of my as my member minute. Shouldn't take more than a minute to hammer out the date for the library trails presentation, and then I can send Liz our preference. I would propose April 22nd. It's a Wednesday, along the lines that that's Earth Day.
That's the
actual Earth Day.
Lee, we did talk about this before you signed on, and we were in agreement about the 22nd, but the one issue that Jerry brought up is booking like a 2-series thing where we do the annual report and then we can advertise at that point Jerry doing the like longer engineering talk, like as a second part of it.
Okay, I'll work that with Liz. I did get that note offline, but so we'll go ahead with the 22nd initially, and then we'll work the notice that Liz needs to have for publicity before the next meeting. I don't think I'll let you know, Chris, when she actually needs that copy for the notice for publication purposes, and then we'll have to make sure that's within the scope of the 22nd meeting presentation, and then how we go forward with the second part of that details. So I think I understand what we've been asked. So I just want to make sure that I get back to Liz in the next couple of days with the first part of this trail presentation.
Yeah, so we're going to go for the 22nd. 22nd sounds great. That's our Earth Day party.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday.
Yep.
The other option would have been the Tuesday, the 28th. So hopefully the 22nd is a go with Liz, and we'll let you know. Okay, that's my members' minute. I just want to make sure that we do cover thank yous and next meeting notices after our members' minutes. So
thank you.
So
I'll need to remember.
Thank you.
While we're online, Joe Greeley, you want to give us your members' minute?
I think I've weighed in enough. Always glad to see you guys. And keep up the good work. Thank you.
Be safe in the plow, please. Jerry, you want to give us your members' minute?
I'm good.
Okay. Heather?
I have really been enjoying Shattuck Park in the snow. I've been walking there almost every day.
That's one of the underappreciated little parks. Yeah.
Go during lunch.
Yeah. Beth?
So the Beav and I have been out. We went sledding on Sunday, and yesterday to this morning we went snowshoeing at Meadow Street, and I sent a couple of pictures around.
Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, they're up on the screen.
Yeah.
Is that him sledding?
That's him at Meadow Street.
Oh, Meadow Street.
Doing
Yep.
gymnastics? Sledding?
We have a couple new people here. We better quickly explain that.
Oh yeah, we have a monthly award called the Eager Beaver Award. Part of this is you have to take it out somewhere on the trail and show them a good time.
And I have to pass it along this month. So shall I give it to Heather, our note taker?
Nice. Tell us a little bit about your decision here, Brad.
The Eager Beaver, who's twice now done the minutes, right?
Right, exactly. Honor her service to the committee in so many ways, and especially note-taking. I took them for a while. Then they do a printout. You can get a printout from Norwood of the minutes for the Zoom meeting, but they're not very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, you have come on.
Great chase, Beth. I gotta say, Heather blew me away when the first day, when I got back from Europe and we were down at Vanderbilt working on that bridge, it was probably the day that Cribbing was going, and Heather was humping up that bank with those 30-plus pound bags of sand, carrying them up the bank, and I was taking them from her on the top, thinking, what's wrong with this picture? But then I was looking at the 20-year-old Boy Scout, the 19-year-old kid, just sitting there putting in screws, and I'm like, that's the real problem here, you know?
Yeah, you have definitely you have arrived and made your presence known, and been exceptionally helpful. You've just jumped. Sometimes people like to ease their way in. You've jumped all in really quickly. It's
Literally.
not literally.
It wasn't like 5 bags she pumped up there, it was like 35 bags.
Excellent. Excellent. There is a little section on the back that you put your initials and then if you were awarded it, you can see everyone's signed it.
All right.
Brian?
I'll pass. I had a lot to say tonight, not just,
It's exciting thinking about some of the pictures that you gave us tonight look so different than when we were blazing those trails and just starting to work on it. And so it's kind of exciting how much progress you can see.
Okay.
That's it.
I got 2 quick ones. This time last month, Heather mentioned she saw a blowdown over at Overlook. It took me until today to get out there, and I saw it. It was the biggest blowdown I've seen anywhere. So we're not cutting that. We're going on. It's like a 4-foot trunk.
I was crawling under it.
Yeah. Oh, right. No, it's not a pine tree. It's a deciduous tree. That's all I can tell you about it. But it's gigantic. I sent you a picture, and I sent you a picture of it. That was one thing. And the other thing, I got an email from Carly today. She was looking for, on behalf of NEPRA actually,
I wanted to talk about this.
A potential trail pickup location in Wiz. Wiz are really messy. And opposite the bridge we built at Vanderbilt on the other side of the river, between there and the Green Trail, is the most debris I've seen anywhere on the trails. So I sent that off to Carly.
Oh, good.
That's all I got.
Vic?
Just recollecting we're in this wonderful room, which we don't, a lot of people probably never have been in here, but a few years ago we had, Babel sponsored the Holiday House Tour, and I stood right in front of that big chair, and I had a emperor's outfit on with a crown and everything, and there was all fruit bowls all there, and people would come in, and it was so funny. And it's such a great setting here.
Is that where the select board used to be?
The big chair was mine, but I stood up most of the time.
The Lithuanian.
Yeah, that was it. All custom made, but it was, people don't appreciate the beauty of this place.
It is, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. Mary?
Let's see, this week I've been snowshoeing a lot. I went to the top of Mount Norwood, which was beautiful. And it was like nobody had been up there. It was great. Today I did Vanderbilt. And it was beautiful. I was the only person out there. It was really nice.
Michelle? My members minute is it's great to have you back at a meeting.
My brother's in town, so I get a little bit of a reprieve now. So, Joe, if you need any help this month, this is the...
Weed whacking.
Her brother.
I went for a walk. I go for a walk most days around Norwood and Walpole, but Adams Farm a lot. But I was walking in the pond behind the middle school, which is also behind my house. And it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking fast, and all of a sudden, I startled something that flew out of the pond, and it was that big heron that you see there sometimes. It was really cool.
Craig?
Nothing to add this month.
Seth?
Liking the snow, but it's getting old already.
Yeah. Seth, any observations from around town?
It's just been nice to have trails in Norwood I can use.
It's not an oxymoron anymore.
That's our motto.
I said I was on the conservation committee, and it was at least a decade ago, and there were people on the committee at the time who actively fought the idea of trails connecting to Boston. And it's really kind of cool to see that now people are seeing a vision that there can be really good trails along the river.
That's great.
I add on Ponce a lot because it's one of the first rivers that opens in the spring when the ice is gone. And, it's beautiful in there, and a lot of people don't know what it looks like in there. And some of the trails you uncovered with your bushwhacking, I knew perfectly what you were talking about because it's really pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I hope to maybe help get the river a little more navigable.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that I've cleaned out a few times over the years, but seems like that's a goal, is having that as like a water trail too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, sign them up.
so I some input there.
Thank you. That's the Concom info. That's a good dose of perspective. That's good. Dan?
Well, I guess what I would say is don't underestimate the power of walking a trail backwards. It's like walking a completely different trail.
Is there backwards?
If you're, some people there is, yes. Some people, they're used to doing, that's what they do. They walk clockwise and just walk
Clockwise and then
walk it the other way. Time of day, don't miss any time of day, especially later this time of year with the sun setting the way it does. It's like walking a different trail as well. It's
really
an observation.
I've really learned. I hate the Outback just on principle. I love a loop course, but my experience in Norwood has really taught me to value the Outback because it's two different walks. You see completely different things depending on what direction you're going. That's very cool. We got everybody online. Okay, so the snow has kept me indoors and appreciating the outdoors just by sledding on Winslow Hill. That's been my big outdoor activity for the past month, is sledding at Winslow Hill and Winslow Park. And I just gotta I haven't been on Froggies yet this winter, and I gotta do it. I gotta get out on Froggies because that's one of our other really great outdoor treasures.
I saw you shoveling your driveway.
Yeah, I forgot that it's a stupid idea to do it twice. Like when it's snowing and you do it I did it on Sunday night, even the stuff at the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
And then I went out on Monday morning and it was all there again. I had to do it twice. I was like, this was dumb. I should have just waited and done it once.
Boy, you have another decision tonight too.
Yeah. I'm just getting to the point where I'm just going to leave it. All right, so that just leaves us with our next meeting will be March 10th, Tuesday, March 10th, 7 p.m. back at the Senior Center, although I can ask if we can always have this space. But I think, the Senior Center, we can talk about it. But otherwise, let's just stick with the Senior Center unless the ZBA changes their minds again. But with that, I can never remember how I end these meetings officially. Bob, what do I say now?
You'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Great.
Second?
Yeah. Meeting adjourned. All in favor?
Any discussion?
Hey, all right. Meeting adjourned.